Welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm Sarah Bernard, and there is a new St. Louis-based web series called Comic Geeks, and creator Brian Spath is here to tell us how we can become a major part of it. And Brian, welcome to STL TV. So glad to have you here.
It's great.
So, and it's really exciting to hear about all the film and TV work that's going on in this town. There's so much of it, and there's webisodes, web series that are being created all the time, and you guys have one of the newest.
Yeah, certainly. We, I guess for St. Louis being sort of a hub now of production activity, but a lot of it you see as sort of reality-based programming, whereas ours is fiction-based. Certainly, I guess, inspired by the real lives of the guys that are on the show.
Yeah.
But for Comic Geeks, our web series, it's about guys who love comic books, love pop culture, and the sort of never-ending pursuit.
So, and I watched a little bit of, and I'm curious about this. So, are you a comic geek yourself?
I am, yeah, definitely.
I figure there had to be some inspiration there in your real life.
Right.
So you love comic books,
Yes.
comic heroes, and you have friends, I guess, who are the same.
Yeah, definitely. And we also kind of cover the spectrum of people who enjoy comic books or graphic novels. Guys who love superheroes and guys who love indie or independent comics as well, underground comics, subculture comics, and creator-based comics.
Is it mostly guys?
No, we kind of are back and forth. We have guys and girls that are involved in the program. So.
Okay, so are you writing the series yourself? Or?
I am. Myself combined with three other gentlemen who help produce the show: Adam Bauer, Jeff Eldon, and Todd Roth. Among the four of us, we write the episodes that comprise our first season.
And you guys are doing this in your spare time. You all have full-time jobs.
Yeah, correct.
So it's a big commitment.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and especially for our cast and crew as well. And when we have a cast of 9 principal characters, and then any tertiary characters that fill it out, and then the crew who are helping. We're primarily shooting a lot on weekends and just finding time that everybody's available and we can make shoots happen.
So let's go back for a second and talk about how this all started. How long have you been in production, or did you start writing it?
Started kind of coming up with the idea in 2010, summer of 2010, and then approached the friends that I was interested in having come on board and be a part of it in that same time frame. And then we actually received a grant from U-City, the Cal Foundation, received a grant from them to produce a 30-minute piece, and that became our pilot episode, which is available online now. And then from there, we set out to create our first season.
And that's where you're at right now.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that it's really interesting for viewers to learn how long these things take to get off the ground. I mean, just the production alone, but then you have to write an episode. You'd apply for the grant. That took some time.
Yeah, it did.
Waiting on a decision.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I guess we applied in 2010, received the grant, or received notification that we would receive the grant in December of 2010. Then we started receiving money in, I think, April of 2011. And then production for our pilot episode went through 2011, early 2012, and then we actually finally finished our pilot episode in March of this year, where we were doing music, changing music, adding animation, so a lot of different elements that are in play all the time to finally get to the spot where you're happy with what you have.
Right. So you've got one episode. Your pilot episode is where you're at right now. So you're doing a Kickstarter campaign to get the whole series sort of expanded.
Right. Yeah. When we received the CALP grant, we were like, all right, this is great. We can make our pilot now. But then when we sat down to create our first season, we're like, all right, what are we going to do for funds to kind of keep everybody engaged and make people want to actually be a part of it? So we came up with our budget, and we're like, well, that's the best way to do it. And now, a lot of people are going through Kickstarter to crowdsource their projects.
Absolutely. Kickstarter.com, Comic Geeks. Want to make sure that our viewers know how to find you, and you've just got another week left. So
yeah, we have 1 week left to raise our funds. So if you go to Kickstarter.com, search for Comic Geeks, it'll be the first thing that pops up, and feel free to back our project.
Yeah,
we have a lot of rewards available.
Right, and we're going to talk more about that in the next segment. So we're going to take a quick break right now, but when we come back, and we'll be right back, we're going to talk more with Comic Geeks Brian Spath, so don't go away.